Hi, Bisola. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Lovely. How are you? How's it going?
Good. How's your day been?
Very well. So far, so good.
You're looking all bright and shining.
Am I? I was literally just about to turn on my lights. Like,
Okay, that's good.
do we need the light or do we not?
I think it's up to you. I think I'm bright on my end.
Oh, you are always looking bright and shiny. I love that.
But yeah, cool. Thank you for joining us today. This is absolutely one of those sessions I'm looking forward to. A big thank you for making our time to be with us today. I believe your journey and your story, it's a very interesting one, and we're definitely looking forward to hearing it today. And yeah, before we jump in terms of you just introducing yourself, I'll just give a bit of background story in terms of what the immigrant, story entails. And anyone who wants to jump in from the comment section, maybe after the session, feel free to reach out. So yeah, so this is the immigrant story where we put together compelling immigrant success story as a pathway to help other immigrants strive. We feel that storytelling is a very important tool in igniting passion and inspiring people to actually chase. So why not use stories of immigrants to inspire other immigrants? So hence the reason this platform was actually bettered to help channel those messages out there and spark that creativity that moving individuals to go on. So but yeah, thank you so much for joining, Bisola. I know we've had a chat at the back of this, and I was like, the first time we spoke, I was like, this girl, she's there, but yeah, I think I'll just give you the platform to introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hi Samuel. Thank you so much. No, you already said everything, and I'm really excited to be here. I remember our first chat was like we just hit it off the bat. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're actually supposed to talk about something," and we decided to retrace our steps back. But yes, I'm really excited to be here, and amazing work you're doing with the immigrant story. I think more people need to share their story, not just because we want to yap or talk, but
Mm-hmm.
just to also get other people to hear and see that they're not alone. And the journey does have like there's a journey, there's a destination you're heading towards, and there's a process in between that helps you get there. And it's the same for everyone. It's you're not an outlier. You're not if things feels like it's heavy or it's hard on your end, it's not just you, it's a normal part of the journey and it definitely always gets better. Hi everyone, my name is Bisola Queen. I'm a finance and business coach from Toronto, Canada. Originally from Nigeria, I moved to Canada in 2019 and my life has just transformed ever since then. I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. I used to work a 9 to 5 as a business analyst. It was fun times. I did a couple of different things when I was in workforce, but that was where I closed off as a BA. And it was fun. It was nice. It was challenging, but it also helped me see that that wasn't the life I really wanted to build. I wanted more out of life, and that pathway, which is 9 to 5, was just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When we had a conversation and I said, for you to close your 9 to 5, Bisola must have made a lot of money because most times that's not really like a conventional route most immigrants take. You get what I mean? Based on the fact that we feel we're on a journey to obtain something, upon obtaining that, then we can make that pivot or try to live that independent life in a way. So I think hence when I saw your channel or saw your page and I see what you've built over time as an immigrant in Canada, I felt it was like a good opportunity to pull you into the platform so you can take us through that journey of moving from 9 to 5 to becoming to living on your terms. I'll put it that way because trust me.
I love living here. I even call it, what do I call it? I call it a couple of different things.
Okay.
Fashionpreneur. I call it fashionpreneur. I call it fun employed. I call it a couple of different names. It just depends on how I'm feeling for that day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because it's very interesting to just wake up and not feeling it to want to sit in front of your laptop by 9 a.m. In the morning or maybe 8:30, whatever you begin, working all of that. So it's really going to be like an interesting journey as we, go through this conversation because trust me, I want to live on my terms as well. So I'm actually looking forward to learning from this whilst I'm even the one conducting the session. So, so yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, I understand that you've built a brand for yourself called the Queen. And that brand is more like an intersection between finance, business, and travel. I think those are three different words being being put together in a way. But yeah, I think just take us through that you building that brand in terms of Queen and how those three words comes to intersect with each other.
Okay. I'll say from my perspective
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm trying to help my audience achieve. So entrepreneurship is how I build the money. Finance is how I grow the money. And travel is how I spend the money.
Okay.
So that is from my perspective, right? And
Yeah.
my goal is to help my audience and people who follow my content, who I educate, to make the most out of their finances so they can live their best life, whatever that looks like for them. For me, my best life is travel. For someone else, it might mean to buy their dream home. It might mean to send their kids to school debt free. It might
Mm-hmm.
mean to buy their dream car. It might mean anything for you. But for me living my best life is me traveling the world. So, and that's
That's
how
good.
all three worlds collide. Does it make more sense now?
Yeah, it does. Like I was blown away when you said the finance is how you make the money.
The entrepreneurship is how I
The
make the money.
entrepreneurship is how you make the money. The finance is how you spend the
Grow the
money,
money. Grow
grow
the
the
money.
money, and the travel is how you spend the money.
So there's the income, there's the income, invest, spend.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. I like
Or you
that.
can say the finance is how I manage the money. But
I'm
it's
gonna,
more so like growing the money part that is most
yeah,
important to me.
yeah. Good. Okay. Great. Let's start from the genesis. Whilst you've taken us through the brand building process and how those three words intersect. Let's start from the genesis. You said you came into Canada in the year 2019, right? And I believe you came in to study business analytics. At that very time, I might be wrong. That's why we're having this, so we understand your journey. So, but if that's not the case, please correct me. So, at what point, upon completion of your study and you started working, at what point did you realize that no, this kind of life is not for me? I can actually do more outside of this.
Okay. So I actually came to Canada as a permanent resident. So I did school here. I never
Oh,
got any
okay.
education in Canada.
No
So
wonder you were
um
smiling. Okay.
so I find it because like many people always think that I studied here, maybe because
Okay.
of the trajectory of my growth, but I think I because I didn't study here, my journey was very much smoother than most people who came here to study. Because if
Yeah.
you came to study, you probably need to wait for work permits, postgraduate work permit, and this and that. And it might take you some time for you to be able to bet on yourself. But for me, because I already came as a permanent resident, it's like there's flexibility for me to even decide to not work from day one.
Yeah.
Right. So that made my journey very different. So when I moved to Canada, it was fun. I came as a PR, permanent resident. I got into my first job. I was working as at a call center, like most people, new immigrants, the hustling job, you either work at a
Yeah.
factory or
Yeah.
I do like the menial jobs where you have to like just power through. Like, I know what's funny, when I just moved to Canada at the time, I actually did not want to take up any job. I wanted to start running my business from scratch because I had a business from back home when I was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I already had my entrepreneurship spirit and I wanted to continue something similar here. And once I started, it quickly hit me that you were making money in Nigeria, yes, but it was in naira. So naira income and naira expense and dollar expenses is not the
It's not the
same thing.
same.
So you have to actually make money in dollars for you to be able to live the dollar lifestyle. So I had to go and apply for jobs, get a job, and I just took up anything that came my way just to make extra income. But most importantly, that would give me extra time. So my work time by then was like I would go to work by 2 p.m. and be done by 9 p.m. But obviously between morning to 2 p.m. I was definitely doing something so I could, actually get my life together in this
Yeah.
new country. And I did that. I upskilled, got into better professions. I became a financial analyst. I worked as a business analyst. I did like different professions while I was growing. But at the same time, I didn't feel any sense of satisfaction or fulfillment in what I was doing. And I think
Mm.
this part is very important to the story. First of all, once I got laid off my first time, it hit me like, okay, no, this is the reason why I love to run my business. This is why I like to do my own thing. Like, what the hell is this? I have now to
Yeah. I
start
get
for a job.
it.
So that hit me back to reality because
Yeah.
one thing that I noticed with a lot of immigrants is we tend to get very comfortable with what like our new life because it's like
Hmm.
this is better than what we came from. So yes, this is really good, which it is. But sometimes we forget that it's still not like there's so much. The sky is
Your
really
starting
large for you
point.
to
Yeah.
fly, right? So there's so much for you to achieve here. And I started to get comfortable, but once I got that layoff, I was like, okay, no, this is a reality. This is a reality check for me that this is really not the pathway that I want to. I don't want my life to be in the hands of somebody else. I want to be able to make decisions of what my own life and my future would look like. So I started to take building my brand, my content, my followership, my purpose very, very seriously. And many times when I talk to people, they always say, "Oh, how did you know what your purpose is?" And this and that. You never know. You experiment
Mm,
and you find it. You figure it out as you go. So there's no one that will actually tell you, "Oh, this is your life mission. This is your life purpose." You have to actually figure it out as you go. And in the process of all of that, lost my job, started to grow my brand, grow my business, experiment with different things. I was able to figure out what my true passion is. And here we are today, end up saying this is to the 9 to 5 corporate life. I don't think I'll ever go back to corporate. Maybe if I will,
mm,
maybe in a consulting capacity
yeah,
where I'm helping other businesses or even maybe a company with advisory and all of that. But
yeah.
I don't see myself doing the typical, because I also know myself. I'm not a person that wants to grow or climb up the career ladder. I don't have any
Mm,
desire to become a manager or a director or something. None of that. So if you already have a sense that this is not for you, like
yeah.
start planning your
I like it. I like it. I like it. I think one thing that I've learned from your story so far, it's your realization of yourself, self-awareness. You were able to tell what you want. Why you said people don't ask you how did you find out your purpose? I always tell people, or I think I had a conversation with someone and I always said my mantra I always live with is you never know the outcome of a thing until you try. So, like you said, explore. So in the process of exploration, you tend to figure out what you think it's best for you, your strengths and all of that. And I think another thing that made me smile was when you said, when you got laid off, that reality check would just call me like, ah. So it's more like someone else
cameo.
was,
I mean, me like me, you laid me off. Me,
it's
laid
more
me
like someone
off.
else is determining your next move, your finance. Like it's like you're tied to something. So I really understand. I've not experienced it, but I've got friends who've experienced it, and it can be like draining at times. Just the whole stress of wanting to get something immediately, start coming in, and you get. But it's really good to see how you're living your best life, I suppose. But yeah, I think another question I want to jump into was I know you said you got a PRO. I just learned down the call, or rather on this live thingy. So, what was the reality check like for you? You know, there's when you were back in Nigeria, there's an expectation in terms of how this place should look like as an immigrant. Like, okay, the grass is growing somewhere or money is growing somewhere. So when you came in, what was the reality check for you? Like,
The reality check when I came in, I was very happy and very fulfilled. I'm very happy that, oh yeah, this is my new life.
mhm,
At least the bare minimum is here. Things are working, that's fine. But I was also really surprised to see that there's so many other things here that are not as great as we imagine. Like there's still corruption, there's still bad roads, there's still fraud, there's still crime. I feel like in the first or second week that I came into Canada, I was already getting all those spam phone calls and messages like, oh, CRA. I'm like, what? These things exist here?
I guess yeah,
But it
Western,
came to my
yeah,
realization that it's just like anywhere else in the world. These
yeah,
things would always be happening. There's gun violence, there's safety issues, there's crime, there's theft, there's every other petty things that we see everywhere else in the world. Meanwhile, when I was coming, I thought like I was coming to heaven, like the land of milk and honey is perfect. So that was the first reality check for me. I think the second one was I realized that I was black. Okay.
mm,
I didn't know I'm black. I didn't know I have an accent from Nigeria. I'm just a normal. I feel like I don't speak really well, right? In Nigeria, you speak well, very fluent girl.
mm-hmm,
But moving to Canada, and someone is saying, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say that again?" You mean you did not just hear what I just said? Or maybe someone intentionally separating themselves. Because I came
yeah,
not long before the lockdown started, and you can visibly see people trying to stay away from you, not because of COVID, but also these are people who are not looking like you. So you
mm,
intentionally can tell that it's not just a case of the virus or something, it's more of what you look like. And that was the second reality check. Like, okay, I am different. I am actually not. In
yeah.
Nigeria, everybody looks the same. We all look the same. Maybe light skin, but that's not even a big deal. We look the same, we sound the same. But here, you have an accent, you look different. That was it's like another reality check. And I think, what was the other reality check? Like, it's as hard as well. It's hard here. It's not like the land of milk and honey, the way we think. It's equally as hard here. If you don't put in the work, you don't get any outcome. You just get the minimum, which is the system is working. That's
Yeah.
it. You have light, you have healthcare, all of those basic things. Beyond that, if you don't try, you will also be stuck in the system. And I didn't want that.
Perfect. Actually, I love how you ended that. If you don't try, you're going to be stuck in the system. And the move you made was such a bold move. Like, so at what point do you feel like you've saved enough to make that pivot, or you just took the risk? Because it's most times it's quite easy for people to say 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, but there's so much that comes with you building your brand. Like now we want to understand. I'm gonna go
What made, what
into
gave you the confidence to say, okay,
what gave
yes,
you that
I'm going now?
confidence, like to make that move. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
was
yeah.
it like?
No, that's a good question, and I actually love that you asked that because very rarely do people deep that beyond the surface level of you saying, "Okay, bye," and betting on yourself. There's like underlying tone of what you have had to figure out in between before you say, "Okay, yeah, maybe let's just give it a shot." I think the first thing was definitely I had money saved up. Prior to that,
Mm,
before quitting, I worked 2 jobs. I was working like a dog alongside building my brand. So
yeah,
I worked actively and I was saving intentionally because I knew that okay, I wanted to take a chance on myself. So it wasn't a case of like I quit and I didn't have money or I didn't have rent money. My rent money for the next 18 months each was figured out already. So I saved up like 1 full year of my monthly living expenses and I saved up additional 6 months just in case because I wanted to take a chance on myself for 1 year minimum and
yeah,
see some level of traction. Then if I decide after 1 year that I need to go back to work, then I would need minimum of another 6 months to get a job. That was the calculation I was running in my head to come up with that number. And I had to save up significantly well. For me to save, I had to work 2 jobs. There was no way my one job was going to supplement or help me hit that goal. So I had to cut back on lifestyle and everything else, but also take up a second job to be able to hit that number. Then the
perfect.
second thing was while that was going on,
Yeah,
I was also actively building my brand. Like, okay, what am I actually betting on? I'm betting on myself, but what do I have to bring to the table? What do I have to offer that I would get paid for? So I
yeah,
was working on my brand, building my presence. It took a lot of work. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I knew that there was going to be an end goal. There's a mission as to what I'm doing, and it's then eventually I can take a chance and see how it go from there. But yeah. Does it
great.
clarify things? Beyond
Yeah,
the money,
it does,
it's
hundred
also the
percent.
work. The money is good, but also because sometimes people say, "Oh, you just quit your job just like that." I didn't quit when my brand was just starting out. I didn't quit when I
Mm,
just said, "Oh, I'm creating a YouTube channel." I quit when my channel was already or my brand was already getting significant, not significant, but certain level of traction,
yeah,
certain level of outcome already. I wasn't quitting and starting off afresh as a beginner. I already had somewhere that I was going to.
yeah. I think that's really good on the basis that I just really want to understand because people are trying to bet on themselves without having a plan in
Anything.
place. It's good to know that you've saved a reasonable amount of money to cover your living expenses for the next 18 months. And it's good to know that you've tested the brand while trying to save that money and see, oh, this is something that can actually scale if I decide to want to end my job and focus on this full time. So that's actually interesting to know. And look at you, your brand is almost, I think, on your page alone, you're having close to 50,000 followers, which actually shows how significant the brand has scaled over time. Outside of your page, you have your own business page called the
Savvy,
Savi,
enjoy.
Savi enjoy, and we're gonna come to them. Me just seeing the title of that brand, I was like, this girl will like enjoyment. But but yeah, that's good to know. So now just taking us into the money side of things, the finance side of things. You talk about finance, like we said, you talk about business and you talk about travel. And like I said, I've been in some of your live session. I watch your videos. I follow some of your content. And my question is going to be, at what point did you feel comfortable enough to want to start teaching people about finance?
That's a good one. And I get this a lot from a lot of beginners who are trying to start maybe sharing educational or valuable content online. They feel like they need to know it all before they start. And I always say, I didn't start sharing content because I felt like I was an expert. No,
Mm,
I came as someone who new in Canada, learning how to figure out money, and I'm sharing my journey with you along the way, every step of the way. So I've learned how to build credit. I've learned how to, read my credit card statements, do all of these basic things. I'm sharing it with you. Then when I started to learn other things like investing, savings, all of these other things, I'm also sharing it as well. So I didn't position myself, and my audience also did not expect me to show up as if I'm an expert. I showed up as someone who is sharing their journey and helping you grow alongside me. So if you think of it this way, you would feel less pressure to want to appear perfect or like you know it all. I
yeah.
didn't wait till I knew everything before I started sharing. I started sharing even while I was learning, even while I wasn't confident in what I know.
Now, talking about how you sharing that content in terms of finance and how that, like your independence, like moving away from 9 to 5 has led to you putting out financial content based on your experience in running your own job, your own business, and trying to increase your investment portfolio or grow your finance. So my question is going to be, what does financial freedom looks to you now? Because if you're not living it, you cannot really tell. I know we have this whole impression of what financial freedom is going to be like, me waking up anytime I want to wake up, do whatever I want to do. But now you are experiencing it. and we want to know about it. So what does it look like? Just living on your own terms and not working for anyone other than yourself.
Um, the freedom, I like to think of it in as freedom in general, not just financial freedom, because financial part is very important.
Mm-hmm.
However, the financial part gives you time freedom, it gives you location freedom. Right now, I told you 2 days ago, like I was traveling, right?
Yeah,
Right now, I'm
yeah,
currently in New York.
yeah.
So I'm in New York now. By the end of the month, I go to London. So I have a lot of like, I was in Thailand 2 weeks ago. So I'm literally everywhere, every now and then traveling. So I have flexibility of location. I also have time flexibility. I can decide I want to work midnight. I want to work morning. I want to work afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling in my best self. I closed my laptop and I went to take a nap, literally in the afternoon. So I have time flexibility. I have financial freedom as well. I don't sleep going to bed every night with my chest tight, like, oh, where is my next meal going to come from? Or I want to spend money on something and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, of course I still analyze my cost and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
things like that, because as a business owner, you have to also be smart about how you manage your
100%.
business finances. However, there are some things that I don't overthink. I was still literally talking to my friend like an hour ago, like, 2 things that I'm so ready to get gone out of my life: cleaning or house chores and cooking. That is the
Mm.
low reward, high effort activity that I am not doing anymore. So we're just chatting about it and talking about, she also is really, really making good money. And we're talking about it like, these are things that, and we're like, us from years ago, we could not even think about that. And now we're here saying, like, oh, this is our life. We cannot even imagine doing these things anymore. So just having that financial freedom also gives you that flexibility, or that ability, I should say, to say yes to things that you love and
Mm-hmm.
no to things you don't. So it gives you options.
When you said, when you texted me and said, oh, I'm going to fly to New York, can we move the timing of this? I was like, oh, okay, that's really nice. Again, it just tell how, having time on your hand can make you do whatsoever you want to do at any time you want to do it. And when you said something about not going to bed and thinking where your next meal is coming from, is for me, it's more like not going to bed and thinking about a deadline, or how I need to wake up quite early in the morning to start up so I can meet up where I need to meet up for the day. So it's quite really interesting. And I think the audience is more like tune in on the basis that this is something everyone will want to experience at one time and place of their life. So it's really incredible and interesting to know. So I want to circle back a bit on the basis that when you said you were able to finally quit your job based on the fact that you've been analyzing your business and seeing which is coming from there, which gave you like the boldness to make that move. So I just want you to share a bit about your business on this platform, and also tell us at what point did you decide to just close your laptop and want to focus on it, and what was the measures, the things you looked out for that made you make that decision.
So on social media, I how do I make money on social media? I think that's kind of what I'm hearing. I make money through brand collaborations. I partner with brands and share whatever products they have, as long as it aligns for me, aligns for my brand, and what my audience would value. I share more about the brand and I get paid for that. I also refer products that I use and I love. I make affiliate income from that. I also do have my own programs as well. Not sure if I mentioned in the beginning, but I'm a finance educator and business coach. So I do help people start and launch and grow their own business as well. And I make money from that. What else do I do to make money? Oh, I do public speaking too, which is fun. I do enjoy public speaking a whole lot more than I feel like long term, that might be what I would lean more towards, because it is such a joy to be in a room where you can educate several people all at once and you can see them actually feeling that impact. On social media, we scroll casually sometimes and you
Mm-hmm.
miss some valuable nuggets that is being shared. But just being in a room, seeing people actually soaking it in is different from when you post the video and you can't really tell the emotion or feeling that people are going through when they are watching those content. So I really do enjoy public speaking a lot. And that's also another way that I get to make revenue or income for my business. Now, at what point did I decide that what I was making was significant enough? Was
Mm-hmm.
I set a target for myself that if I could make $2,000 every month from content creation, that maybe it was worth considering that if I could put in more time, I would definitely make more. And guess what? Sometimes people are like, "Oh, how did you come up with that number specifically?" It was just random, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because $2,000 is not even enough to pay my rent at the time I quit. My rent was 2,200 before utilities or whatever. So $2,000 was not even nearly enough. And funny story, even after I started making that 2K before I quit, like just 2 or 3 months after, that consistent 2K that was coming in was no longer even there again. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So that also tells you that Sometimes you say you want to bet on yourself, you have to be ready for what could possibly come out of that, because you
Yeah.
really cannot be guaranteed of anything. But it just gave me that feeling to know that, okay, this is something that can actually make money. Is it making enough money? Question mark, question mark, question mark. But can it actually make income? That was what I was saying, and it was consistent for a while. So I said, okay, yeah, let's bet on it and see.
Great. Because I think someone did say during your entrepreneurship journey, this month you can earn 5K and next month you're earning $0. and you're wondering you're questioning yourself is, should I really just focus on this or go back to my 9 to 5? But yeah, really good to know. I think another thing I'm quite interested in terms of wanting you to share is about Sabi and Joy. I think that's also a brand you've built over time. Do you mind just telling us a bit about that?
Yes, I'm the founder of Sabi Enjoy. Sabi Enjoy is a travel lifestyle brand that helps people save the world, make travel more accessible. I started Sabi Enjoy because most finance educator or finance guru that you see, they tell you, save, 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 invest, 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 make money, make money, make money. They don't tell you about enjoyment. And I'm like, listen, me, I love to enjoy. I love to live a good life. As I work, I enjoy. That's literally why I named the brand Sabi Enjoy, because it's
Yeah.
like, what's the whole point of making money? Money should be used as a tool to help you get a better life. So if you're making money and all you do is just save, invest, do all these things, at what point do you get to enjoy life? And you can be very ambitious, hardworking, have these big dreams and goal, but also still enjoy life while you're doing so. So I started to be enjoying, and I traveled a lot. Many times people reach out and say, hey, Bisola, I want to travel with you. Where's your next trip? Where are you going to next? I want to travel with you. And I'm like, guys, I can't just bring you from social media and travel with me. There's a lot of things to put in place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of structure to put in place. So I have to actually set up a business and a brand to cater for that need, and that better Sabi Enjoy.
That's very much. I think when you were talking about it, I was thinking of something, and I think in between you answered the question on the basis that some financial educator do tell you save, 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 invest, 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 and they don't tell you to take a time to enjoy yourself. Like, you're making this money, take a time to enjoy yourself. I think some people are quite scared on the basis that how do they reconcile that finance? They've spent
like the money that you spend.
Exactly, in a way. But then again, life is all about memories. The memories are not going to come back, but the money can always come around at any time. But yeah, it's good to know.
And another thing to add to what you just said beyond the memories, because I always see travel as an investment. So even in as much as people say travel and all of that, travel is not an expense for me. It's an investment. It's an investment in my experiences. It's an investment in my memories. When you travel, the earlier you take those trips, the longer you enjoy those memories for. So every time I speak to my sister, one time we took a trip to Mexico, I think it was 2022. She literally just started making money then. She was still a student, but she was making decent money to be able to afford the trip at the time. And till today, we're in 2026. Till today, she and I will still talk about that trip till today. So imagine the fact that we made an investment in a trip since 2022, and we still get to enjoy the dividend from that trip till now. That is an investment. It's not an expense, in my opinion. It's an investment in our experience, the memories that we've collected over time. And when you travel, many of the ideas that I've gotten that have been profitable for me and my business and my brand came while I was traveling. Trust me. So sometimes you just being in a different environment, you having that mental reset gives you a clear head and a clear mind that helps you become even better. So when people are saying, how do I tie this expense to this life and everything? If you're someone who believes in the value that you have to offer, sometimes that money that you think you're spending, you will make 3 times more just as a result of being in a different environment that causes you or forces you to think. Or the people you can meet, told you when you travel, you can meet someone that will change your life.
Yeah. Yeah, someone did also say something. There's a guy that do follow in terms of he's always an advocate of travel, leave your environment, see things from a different angle and a different perspective that can change your mentality in terms of how you see things, do things, and do things. So, like you said, I reckon with you on the basis that it's an investment at the end of the day. But yeah, I think my next question is going to be, I said something about you hitting almost 50K followers. I know you're going to hit 50K very soon, but at what point did that whole, like, what really led to that? I want to really understand if it's before from your financial education live sessions you do normally host, or you building your brand over time that has given that number. and how that number is significantly help in terms of scaling your business. Because I had someone one time on my platform that had about 129k followers on Instagram, and she said, "It's just a number. Oh, don't see it like that, Samuel." And I'm like, okay. So at what point did you, or how did you leverage on that number to actually scale your business? I think that should be the right question.
And I love what that other person said as well, because when I create in 2023, I had like 10k followers. So and maybe on YouTube, then maybe I had like 30k followers. Now on YouTube, I have maybe like 75k or 80k, I don't know. But as at then, I didn't have that much followers. So the numbers, like she said, is just numbers. It's something that grows over time, and the more people see, I feel like when people started to see that this girl is taking challenges, she's taking risks, I want to follow her journey. I want to see what's going on with her. I want to see, when I announced that I quit my job, many people were interested because they want to see, are you going to survive? You don't even have your husband. You don't even have your parents. You don't have all, who will help you now?
Yeah.
Who will help you now if anything happens? So I think that also helped in growing as well, because many people were interested to see if it's something that I'll be able to keep up with. But at the same time, people started to lean into the story and follow the journey and say, oh yeah, if she's doing it, I can do it too. Whatever she's doing, I could learn from it. I could try this, I could try that, because if it's working for her, then maybe it could work for me too.
And it's going to bring me to this question in terms of, how has building this platform changed how you see your own journey?
That's a very interesting question. How I see my journey. I think it has helped me see my journey as something that I'm called to do, to impact people. That's how I see it now. Yeah. I'm not seeing it anymore as if I'm doing it for myself. Before, it was just like, I'm just sharing content. I'm just doing this. So if I don't want to do it, maybe I don't want to do it. But now I see it like there's a bigger purpose as to why I do what I do. So sometimes I'm like not feeling gingered or motivated to do it. Then in my head, I'm also thinking there's actually someone waiting on the other line that your one video would help their kids go to school debt free, because you shared a tip that you already know that they don't know. So I'm like, you know what, actually, that's true. So I have to go make that video so I can help one other kid not go to school with debt, you know? So I think about those things, and it really inspires me to even want to show up. Whenever I feel like I don't want to show up, I remember that I'm like a city set. I'm a Christian, by the way. So sometimes if you hear me say some things, please understand. I see myself as like I'm a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. I'm supposed to shine light to the world. So if I am trying to say, oh, I don't want to do this because I don't feel like, then I'm doing a disservice to people out there who needs my light to actually shine in the world.
Yeah. I like the fact that I'm a Christian as well. I like the fact that you quoted that scripture. That's one of my favorite scriptures. I think it says, "Where the salt on the earth, a city set upon the hill that can never be hidden." But yeah, thank you very much. To be honest, you don't really know how inspiring your story is, because I think where you are living now, it's actually a people's prayer point. And I said something about how it can be really discomforting in terms of 9 to 5. And there's this thing that comes with entrepreneurship. No matter the time, the effort you put into it does not really count like effort and time. If you're building your own thing, you're doing your own thing. So no matter the energy you put into it, it does not really count. But on the other side, it's more like you're killing yourself one way or the other. But yeah, I just want to say a very, very big thank you, and I'm really proud of you. So in terms of, I think we've had a good number of people joining and jumping off. If there's one thing you want this audience to take away from this conversation today, what I can pick up 2 or even more from the conversation we've had so far, for me to take away or for myself, what would that be for you?
I would say for them to believe in themselves and know that it's possible for you to achieve that dream life, that life that feels like you aspire, or like, oh, it's only for certain kind of people. It's possible for you as well. You just need to dream big enough and imagine yourself in that world and put in the work to help you get there. Because in as much as people are like, oh, you're leaving my prayer point and everything, this was my dream. This life was like, oh, if I'm just able to do this, if I'm just able to achieve, like, just even travel, like, this is my dream. So me being able to live my dream now is also a testament to the fact that anybody else can do the same thing. Don't let your background keep your back in the ground. You can change your story. I came from nothing.
That one entered. Like, so don't let your background keep your back on the ground. Okay.
Yeah, I came from nothing, but I was like, no, just because I came from nothing doesn't mean I'm gonna be nothing. No, I have to
Yeah.
do something. I have to make a difference out there. I have to put in the work to help me live the life that I truly want. And look at me now, living that life. So if you're listening to me today, this is your sign to know that it's possible for you as well. You might already be even seeing result or seeing some outcome right now, and it just still feels like that life that you want is still feeling far out of reach. This is me telling you that it's possible. Just continue to do what you need to do and don't shy away from taking risks, because I feel like a lot of people are too risk averse these days.
Mm.
Don't be scared of taking risks. What's what will happen? You try again, you fail, you make mistake, you start again.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Try again, start again. But yeah, thank you so much, Bisola. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, I was hoping this was going to be like an hour, but but yeah, look at us within the space of 40 minutes, and it doesn't even really feel like 40 minutes because it's really been like a very educative session, and definitely when you said something about coming to London sometime next month or something,
Yes,
please
but
shout out if you can. I
yes.
definitely want to take an autograph or something, you know. it, wa- it,
Please, not the
wa-
autograph.
in one way or the other. But why you've answered this question in terms of what's that one thing you leave for people who are watching this, I want to ask the question for yourself. Looking at yourself who came to Canada 2019, if you were to go back on that journey, what's one thing you would do differently?
What would I do differently? I don't think I would change much really, because I think so. You know how sometimes when you experience some downtimes and like challenging moments, you tell
Hmm.
yourself that then when you go past that time, you realize it was meant to happen. Like if it didn't happen, you wouldn't learn. So you needed to go through those challenges and those downtimes for you to really get to where you want to be. So I don't think I would change much in my journey at the time. I think I took enough risk. I think I experimented. I think I learned. I made mistake. I grew from it, and I made great connection, met great people. The only thing maybe I would change or do differently is I'll try to have done my immigration earlier, but I don't know if I would have been able to because I didn't even have the funds to facilitate that
Yeah.
earlier. So I think everything just worked in divine timing.
And this is the last one, trust me. What has
Keep bringing them coming. I love it.
what has building the business, building the brand taught you over time?
Character development. Building a
Mm.
business, it teaches you character development as a person, as a human being. Like people don't see building a bit like it's a skill. Yes, it's a skill that you're building on that you're growing, but it also helps you build different parts of your character, your resilience, your discipline. I was literally telling my friend a couple of hours ago before this session, like one thing that I've had to learn as a business owner is like discipline, because nobody's going to tell you, oh, this is due when or when to finish this or what you need to do. You're your own boss. Nobody will ask you. If you like sleep, if you like don't do it, if you like don't do
Mhm.
it, like that's your cup of tea. So you have to be responsible to say, okay, regardless of the fact that nobody's checking me, I have to do this thing. I have to show up no matter what I'm feeling like. I have a responsibility that I have to fulfill. So it has taught me discipline, it has taught me resilience, it has taught me grit. Like sometimes life will test you, but you don't give up. You stand up, you go back again. It's okay. Today's done. You take a break. You have to consume it. You feel the emotion, you absorb it, but then you go back and continue again because there's no giving up here.
There's no
So,
giving up yet.
yeah.
Ah, I wish I can be taking notes down,
And
you
I
know,
was
so
gonna say, all right,
I can jot things down to take things out. Do you understand? But that's really really good to know. I know I said that was my last question, but this one is gonna be the final one. Trust me. This one is
keep
the
bringing them
final one.
coming.
This one is that. How easy was it for you to scale your brand as an immigrant? I understand that social media is quite a large space where no one takes dominance in terms of customer base, and just having the knowledge that okay, most of your customers are online, I suppose. So, how was as an immigrant? I don't know if the environment was favorable or challenging for you, but how easy was it for you to scale that brand? Feel free to take us through the number of years or the number of time or whatsoever challenges, ups and downs you went through the process. I think it's going to be important for anyone who's thinking of taking that bold step as well. So, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a very, very good question. I don't think of it as if it was easy. I think
Mm,
like anything that you achieve, it has to come with many challenges. It just depends on how you handle it. So it wasn't the easiest because I'm still a black immigrant. It's one thing
mhm.
for you to be an immigrant, it's one thing for you to be black immigrant. And we're literally taking the scrape of the pot, unfortunately. So there's always challenges there. There are brands that want to work with you, but they look at the type of audience that you might have. Maybe it's not favorable for what they're looking for, so they turn down the opportunity. And for me, I don't internalize it. I say that's your loss. That's not me. You missed out on a great opportunity to work with a diva.
I
Like,
like
who are
that.
you? So I don't internalize it. I don't see that that's their loss. There are also brands, even opportunities that comes your way and you don't get paid as much just because you're of your skin tone, your color, where you're from, and many of these things. So, but I've learned to not internalize them and seek ways that I can build my business without depending on these other people. And that's the part that I'm leaning more towards now these days, where I'm building my own programs, my own community, my own opportunities that will drive revenue for myself and my business without having to lean on those partnerships and all of those things, because those things are really not within your control. So those are the pathways that I'm now forging
Yeah.
ahead into now for the growth and plan for my business, rather than sticking to wait for to be selected or to be chosen or to negotiate and these things that I really cannot control. So yeah.
That's what we call business continuity plan. Well done,
Or
Bisola.
word. You gave me the word. Love it.
Well done, well done, well done. I've really, really enjoyed this conversation, trust me. I think someone said, I've been watching you from the very beginning and seeing how far you've come. It's honestly inspiring. The growth, the consistency, the glow up, everything shows. So proud of you. So
Thank
well
you.
done. Well done. But yeah, I think this is where we want to draw the curtain to a close. But trust me, if I could, I would have, elongated this session because
Yeah, maybe
it's
we'll do
really
an
informative.
in-person one in London whenever I'm around. I'll reach out to you for sure.
Oh, great, great, great. So yeah, we can do that, and maybe we can talk for 2 hours. It's just gonna be very informal. We'll be gisting and laughing and just
I
just
can
put.
talk. Are you ready? I can talk for Africa till next week. And you know what's
No.
funny? It now feels good to know that, oh, you can actually get paid to talk. Oh, I love to talk again, so pay me.
But yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I just want to say a very big, massive thank you for making that time to attend this. I don't take it for granted. And like I said from the onset, your story it's a very interesting and inspiring one, not just to me. I believe for everyone who has joined. And I think the Reef Free Man vibe is more of a testament to what I just said in terms of the comment he made. So I just want to say thank you once again and keep pushing. I'm just by your corner, supporting and liking your content and following and all of that and all of that stuff. But yeah, I just want to say thank you once again. If there's anything you want to say, I think just feel free to chip that in as we round up.
Oh, thank you so much, Samuel, for this amazing opportunity. Good job with what you're doing with the immigrant story. I think this is really, really needed, especially as the immigrant populace is growing really fast in the diaspora. I love what you do, so keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're listening to me right now, definitely hit that follow button so you can learn more from my wealth of knowledge, and also continue to remember that, like I said, there's possibility for you to really live your dream life. It's not far out of reach. It's not impossible. There are people doing it. The fact
Yeah.
that there are people doing it means it's possible for you as well. And just continue to try. Never give up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And there's something I want to also pop out is on the basis that I understand that Bisola came in through Canada with a PRO straight up, and most of us might likely be on skilled worker visa, and we might think that that's a limitation. However, it's not, because, like I said, prior to this conversation, we did have a conversation, and I said, oh, we have like 20 hours outside of our main employment, and you're like, you can obviously use 20 hours to do so much. So don't feel like you're limited based on the paths or the route you're
The
taking. You
options that you have.
definitely, yeah, exactly. So explore all options you have, and like Bisola has said, feel free to follow her, the like button. You can set up one-to-one consultation rather. I know it's going to cost you a bit, but it's worth doing. Do you understand? Because it's always very important to learn from people who's been there, done that, and they're striving in it. So I'll definitely encourage anyone who's on here to reach out if you want to navigate this path as well. But yeah, thank you once again, and this is where we draw the curtain. I'll see you when I see you, hopefully in London. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Cheers, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.